Losing you wasn't just a mistake on their part. It was a divine sentence, a cosmic consequence of their actions. Let that truth sink deep into their souls, heavy as a brick. Because, my chosen one, your absence hasn't just created a void. It's unleashed a curse, an invisible force that's tightening its grip on their lives, crushing everything they thought they had control over. They deluded themselves into believing they could thrive without you, that you were easily replaceable, that your memory would fade like a fleeting dream. Now, the universe is roaring with laughter, a cosmic joke at their expense, reminding them that losing someone of your caliber is a wound that never truly heals. Think of it like this. Picture someone, in a moment of utter foolishness, smashing their own oxygen tank, convinced that the air outside is somehow superior. A bold move, wouldn't you say? Until the tank shatters, and they're left gasping for breath, clawing at the ground in a desperate search for the very air they so carelessly rejected. That, my dear, is precisely what transpired when they let you slip away. They weren't just mistaken. They were profoundly, spectacularly stupid. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, doesn't let such blatant folly go unpunished. Your absence struck them like a citywide blackout, plunging a metropolis reliant on a single power source into utter darkness. Everything went black instantly. And here's a cold, hard fact that screams the truth of your worth. Studies have shown that when individuals lose someone who provided them with emotional stability, their brains react as if they're going through withdrawal, a real, agonizing withdrawal. The same stress systems activate, the same panic surges, the same devastating crash occurs. No dramatic embellishment is needed. Science itself exposes the depth of their suffering without you. But this isn't merely a matter of biology. It's cosmic retribution. They didn't just lose a person. They lost their anchor, their balance, their shield against the storms of life. And now that you're gone, their entire existence feels like a glitch, a broken code they can't seem to fix. Chosen one, thank you for being here, for lending your ear to this truth. And don't forget to reciprocate this message by hitting like and subscribing, so that this truth can reach more souls in need. It's our collective duty to spread light and expose the darkness that festers in the shadows. And thank you for being a part of this vital mission. You're not just a passive observer. You're part of a powerful force. Now let's dive back into the topic because it gets even more intense from here. Your absence didn't merely wound them. It stripped them bare, exposing their true nature. When you were a part of their lives, you effortlessly held things together, a silent guardian against chaos. You were the calm that prevented their storms from escalating into full-blown disasters, the steady voice they failed to appreciate, the unwavering energy that kept their world from collapsing. They treated you as if you were an extra, a dispensable accessory. But the reality is you were the bedrock, the very foundation they relied on more than they ever dared to admit. And on the day you walked away, the universe lifted your protective shield from around them. That's why everything began to crumble. Why their relationships feel hollow and artificial. Why their late-night distractions provide no solace. Why their routines feel empty and pointless. They wake up with the bitter taste of regret in their mouths and fall asleep with the gnawing sensation of guilt crawling beneath their skin. They put on a brave face for the outside world. But the moment they're alone, they fall apart, shattered by the weight of their own actions. That's the curse your absence planted. And they earned it with every act of disrespect, every moment of disregard. You didn't have to raise your voice, you didn't have to clap back. You didn't have to expend any extra effort. Your silence spoke volumes. Your distance inflicted the damage. Your simple act of stepping back unleashed the storm that now engulfs them. And here's the ironic twist. They still haven't figured out how to escape the tempest, because they were so accustomed to you fixing their problems before they spiraled out of control. Without your presence, they're exposed, vulnerable, like a phone with no screen protector. One drop and everything shatters. The universe operates on patterns, and one of its simplest truths is this: lose a chosen one, and everything built on lies will inevitably collapse. The people they run to offer no help. The people they try to replace you with are soulless imitations. The compliments they chase ring hollow. The attention they seek fails to satisfy. Nothing tastes right, nothing feels right, nothing sits right. Because once someone has experienced the rare and potent energy of a chosen one, anything average becomes akin to poison. The curse they feel isn't some mystical spell. It's the harsh reality of their choices. When they lost you, they lost the only person who genuinely cared, the only soul invested in their well-being. When they disrespected you, they disrespected the very energy that was holding their lives together, the force that prevented their world from descending into chaos. You were the light in their dark room, the warmth in their frozen world, the balance they so carelessly took for granted. Their arrogance led them to believe they could exist without you. Now, they're learning the excruciating lesson that your absence is a shadow that follows them everywhere, a constant reminder of their folly. They thought you were too much, too intense, too demanding. Now, they're haunted by everything that made you special. Your unwavering honesty, your profound depth, your fierce loyalty, your comforting presence. They tried to act as if you were replaceable, but every replacement feels like drinking muddy water after having tasted the purest spring water. They downgraded their entire existence, but they didn't realize the magnitude of their mistake until it was far too late. And now, here's the part they desperately try to conceal. They check your energy without checking your profile, sensing your presence without daring to intrude. They think of you when they should be sleeping, haunted by your memory in the quiet hours of the night. They hear certain songs and are instantly transported back to moments shared with you, replaying your voice in their minds like a broken record they can't silence. They pretend to be indifferent, but their world subtly bends around your absence, acknowledging the void you left behind. You left an indelible mark they can't erase, a brand seared into their very being. Your absence didn't just curse them. It exposed their true character, revealing their weaknesses, their dependence on you for validation, the fact that everything they bragged about was built on your unwavering support. And now, they stand amidst the ruins of their own choices, desperately trying to maintain the illusion that everything is fine. while the universe watches them slowly sink into the abyss of their regret. And you, my chosen one, you're rising, your peace restored, your clarity sharpened, your blessings flowing freely because you removed the blockage that was holding you back. Their toxic energy was a chain around your neck, and the moment you broke free, your entire life shifted onto a new, brighter path. You glow with a newfound radiance, you move with a lighter step, you think with a clearer mind, you attract better opportunities and better people. The universe is opening doors that were once sealed shut, doors that remained inaccessible when they were still a part of your life. Losing them wasn't a loss. It was a liberation, a chance to breathe again. But for them, losing you was the ultimate curse, a self-inflicted wound that will continue to fester. The universe didn't punish you. It punished them for their arrogance and their disrespect. And now, they're trapped, reliving the moment they let the best thing in their lives walk away, a moment that will forever haunt their memories. And chosen one, thank you for sticking with me through this difficult truth. Before we delve deeper, take a moment to pause and truly feel the resonance of this message. Feel the changes it's unlocking within you. Your absence became their curse, and what follows will explain precisely why they can't escape the burning regret that consumes them. Drop the number 777 in the comments if you can already feel the universe exposing those who tried to break you, those who underestimated your strength. And if you wish to further support this mission, bless the team behind this message with a super thanks. Whether it's a penny or a stack, every contribution helps keep this truth alive and ensures it reaches those who need it most. And now, let's proceed with the real breakdown step by step. If you're truly the chosen one, you'll feel an irresistible pull to stay until the very last word. Let's begin. Number 1. They threw dirt on you, attempting to bury your light. Now, they're drowning in the very filth they tried to use against you. Mocking you was easy for them, a cheap thrill fueled by their own insecurities. But living with the crushing weight of regret, that's the insidious part, the slow poison that's slowly killing them from the inside out. Your absence didn't just wound them, chosen one. It exposed them, cracking open every lie they ever told themselves, every illusion they clung to for comfort. The same people who acted as if you were forgettable now feel your silence cutting into their days like shards of cold metal, a constant reminder of their mistake. The same ones who smirked at your pain now wake up with their own, a consequence of their actions. They didn't just lose you. They lost the one person whose energy kept their lives from collapsing, the silent guardian who protected them from the chaos they so readily embraced. And now, the universe is forcing them to confront the reality of their actions, to face the consequences of their disrespect. At this point, you might be wondering, why are they crashing so hard now? Why are they suddenly so miserable? Because they used your worth as a punching bag, taking pleasure in belittling your strengths. They treated your kindness as a weakness, a sign of inferiority. They laughed at your loyalty, as if it somehow made you small and insignificant. But the universe doesn't allow such blatant disrespect to go unpunished. When someone mocks a blessing, that blessing is withdrawn, and the loss becomes their curse. And losing you was the first crack in their entire structure, the initial sign of the impending collapse. Imagine someone, in a fit of recklessness, smashing the only lantern they had in a dark cave, convinced they could see without it. That's precisely what they did when they underestimated your presence, when they failed to recognize the value of your light. They broke the very thing that provided them with clarity, the source of their understanding. They thought the darkness would be fun, exciting, different, a chance to explore the unknown. But now, they're bumping into walls, tripping over every mistake, terrified of their own thoughts, lost in a labyrinth of their own creation. Because without you, their world went pitch black, devoid of light and hope. They didn't just mock your worth. They depended on it, relying on your strength to carry them through life's challenges. Your patience carried them. Your empathy softened their chaos. Your unwavering energy covered their flaws. Your very presence kept them from falling apart. But they never realized it, too blinded by their own ego to admit they were standing on ground that you held together, sustained by your unwavering support. And the day you walked away, that ground cracked beneath their feet, sending them spiraling into an abyss of their own making. Now, they choke on every memory, every moment you shared, every truth you spoke, every small act of kindness they ignored. They replay the things they said, the disrespect they showed, the jokes they made at your expense, all the subtle ways they belittled your worth. They thought it was harmless banter, innocent teasing. Now, those same jokes feel like ropes tightening around their chest, suffocating them with the weight of their regret. They can't escape the burden of their own actions, because the universe won't let them forget what they did to someone rare, someone who genuinely cared. The people they run to now feel empty, devoid of substance, mere shadows of the connection they shared with you. The faces they entertain now seem dull and uninspired, lacking the spark that once ignited their world. The validation they keep chasing feels flimsy and fleeting, unable to fill the void you left behind. They tried to replace you, the same way someone replaces a shattered phone screen with a cheap knockoff. It works for a day, maybe a week, providing a temporary illusion of wholeness. Then it glitches, it cracks, it cuts their fingers, reminding them of the fragility of their existence. It breaks again, leaving them with a constant reminder of their loss. That's how their new options feel. Temporary, unsatisfying, and ultimately, disappointing. Nothing sticks, nothing satisfies, nothing fills the void you left. And let's be brutally honest. You were the one they didn't deserve, the one who showed up, the one with real depth, real warmth, real loyalty. They mocked what they didn't understand. They laughed at what they couldn't match. They belittled what intimidated them. Their insults weren't about you. They were about their own deep-seated insecurity, their fear of being inadequate. Your glow reminded them of how dull they were. Your heart reminded them of how hollow they felt. Your strength reminded them of how weak they truly were. So, they tried to tear you down to feel taller, to elevate themselves by diminishing your light. But here's the plot twist they never saw coming. The cosmic irony that now consumes them. Your absence became their karma, the consequence of their actions. Every time they feel that gnawing emptiness in their chest, that's your silence at work, a constant reminder of their loss. Every time they try to connect with someone new and it falls flat, that's the universe reminding them of what they threw away, the treasure they so carelessly discarded. Every time they scroll through their phone and feel the urge to reach out, but can't bring themselves to do it, that's the curse settling in deeper, tightening its grip on their soul. You didn't have to speak a word, you didn't have to seek revenge, you didn't have to lift a finger. The mere absence of you is doing everything, inflicting more damage than any act of retribution ever could. They mocked your worth, but now they're addicted to your memory, haunted by the echoes of your presence. They once acted as if they could live without you, as if your absence would be a minor inconvenience. But now, they can't even enjoy a full day without being triggered by something that reminds them of you, without being reminded of their mistake. Even the things they once enjoyed now taste like cardboard, devoid of flavor and substance. Their laughter sounds forced and hollow. Their relationships feel shallow and unfulfilling. Their peace is gone, replaced by a constant state of anxiety and regret. Your absence flipped their whole reality upside down, turning their world into a distorted reflection of what it once was. Think of them like someone who tossed away a seemingly insignificant seed, dismissing it as worthless because it looked small and unimpressive. They didn't realize it was the seed of a massive tree that would have provided them with shade, protection, fruit, and stability, a source of life and abundance. They spat on it and walked away, convinced they didn't need it. Now, they sit under a burning sun, starving, thirsty, and miserable, looking at the empty ground where that tree should have been, tormented by their own short-sightedness. That emptiness is your absence, the void they created by their own actions. That regret is their new shadow, a constant companion that follows them wherever they go, reminding them of their mistake. And here's what will truly sting them, if they ever hear this truth. They didn't just lose someone good. They lost a turning point in their life, a chance to become better versions of themselves. They lost someone who wanted to see them win, someone who gave them comfort they never earned, someone who made life easier without even trying, a silent guardian against the storms of life. You were their peace in a world that constantly attacked them, their safe haven in a turbulent sea. Their ego convinced them to disrespect you, to push you away, to take you for granted. Their ego is now the very reason they suffer, the architect of their own misery. Your absence isn't just a bruise. It's a lifelong scar, a permanent reminder of their folly. They might move on physically, pretending to have found happiness in new relationships and new experiences. But mentally, emotionally, and energetically, they're nowhere near healed. The wound you left behind will continue to fester, a constant source of pain and regret. People can pretend online, putting on a brave face for their friends and followers. They can pretend to be happy with their replacements, seeking validation in fleeting connections. But regret is a shadow that doesn't go away. It follows them into every conversation, into every quiet moment, into every failed attempt at connection, a constant reminder of their loss. They lost you in the name of pride, fueled by their own arrogance and insecurity. And now, that same pride keeps them from admitting how much they want you back, how much they long for the connection they so carelessly threw away. But the universe sees everything, and it has a funny way of balancing the scales, of ensuring that justice prevails. When someone mocks the chosen one, the universe mocks them in return, exposing their flaws and weaknesses for all to see. And when you leave, life pulls the curtain back on them, revealing the truth they've been desperately trying to hide. All the things you protected them from finally reach them, the chaos they shielded them from now engulfs their world, the consequences of their actions finally catch up to them. They thought you were the weak one, the one who needed them. Now, they're on their knees, praying for the peace they only had when you were around, begging for a return to the stability you provided. Meanwhile, you rise, you heal, you grow, and every step you take forward feels like another weight tightening around their regret, another turn of the screw in the vice of their conscience. They watch from afar, pretending they don't care, pretending they've moved on, pretending you never mattered. But their soul knows the truth, their life knows the truth, the universe knows the truth. They mocked your worth, but now they choke on it, suffocated by the weight of their own regret. And chosen one, here's the part that should give you strength, the realization that should empower you to move forward with confidence. Their regret isn't a compliment. It's a confirmation, a validation of your worth. It's confirmation that you were never the problem, that your heart was genuine, that your energy was rare and precious. It's confirmation that your absence is powerful enough to shake an entire life, to dismantle the foundations of their existence. You don't rise because they regret losing you. You rise because you finally see your own worth, without needing their approval, without seeking their validation. Their regret is just the echo of their own mistake, a faint whisper of the storm they unleashed. It's the sound of karma doing exactly what it's supposed to do, restoring balance to the universe. So, as they sit in the ruins of their choices, consumed by regret and despair, remember this. You were never forgettable, you were never replaceable, you were never weak. They threw dirt on you, thinking it would bury you, extinguish your light. Instead, you used it to grow roots, to strengthen your resolve, to blossom into something even more magnificent. And now, they're the ones drowning in the very dirt they threw, suffocated by their own negativity. Your worth didn't change. Their perception did. Their ability to recognize your value was clouded by their own insecurities and ego. And now, that distorted perception is destroying them from the inside out, consuming them with regret and despair. Chosen one, this chapter is yours, a testament to your resilience and your worth. Their regret is just background noise, a faint echo in the distance. Your rise is the real story, the narrative of your triumph over adversity. Number 2, when you cut them off, when you severed the ties that bound you to their toxic energy, their whole system crashed, their world went into freefall. Taking you for granted was their choice, a conscious decision fueled by their arrogance and self-deception. Losing you forever was their punishment, the inevitable consequence of their disrespect. Your energy was their shelter, the shield that protected them from the storms of life. Now they're standing in the downpour with no roof over their heads, exposed to the harsh realities they so readily ignored when you were by their side. They didn't miss you first. They missed the power you gave them, the energy you so freely provided. You weren't their partner. You were their life support, the emotional oxygen they thought would never run out, the lifeline they so carelessly took for granted. Chosen one, the moment you pulled your energy back, the moment you severed the connection that sustained them, their world didn't just shift. It collapsed, imploding under the weight of its own emptiness. People like them always pretend to be strong, projecting an image of self-sufficiency and independence. But that facade crumbles the moment you take away the one thing keeping them alive, the source of their strength, your unwavering presence. They thought losing you meant losing a person, a friend, a lover. But losing you meant losing their entire source of emotional oxygen, the very air they needed to breathe. They weren't ready for it, couldn't comprehend the magnitude of their loss. They never are, because parasites never expect the host to wake up, to realize their worth, to sever the ties that bind them to a toxic relationship. You might be wondering right now, were they really that dependent on me? Was I truly their lifeline, the only thing keeping them afloat? And the hard truth is yes, unequivocally yes. Everything about their life was wired into your energy, your patience, your unwavering support, your inherent stability. They fed on it like it was an unlimited resource, as if you would never walk away, as if you were stuck to them out of obligation, bound by a sense of duty. They confused your loyalty for weakness, mistook your giving nature for a permanent supply, assuming you would always be there to cater to their needs. But the universe eventually opens the host's eyes, revealing the truth that was hidden in plain sight. And the moment yours opened, the moment you realized your worth, there's closed to darkness, plunging them into a world of their own making. Imagine this. Someone standing in the bitter cold, shivering uncontrollably, holding a warm jacket they didn't appreciate, a source of comfort they took for granted. And then, in a moment of utter foolishness, tossing it aside, claiming they didn't need it, convinced they could withstand the elements on their own. The second the jacket hits the ground, the temperature drops even lower, the wind cuts harder, and reality slaps them across the face, reminding them of the warmth they so carelessly rejected. That jacket was you, a source of comfort and protection. That warmth was you, the love and support you so freely provided. And the cold biting into their bones now, the shivering that consumes them, that's your absence, a constant reminder of their loss. Here's another analogy. Picture a phone at 1% battery, desperate for a charger, clinging to its last vestiges of life, but still pretending everything is fine, projecting an image of self-sufficiency. That was them, desperately clinging to your energy to survive. And you were the charger, the source of power they needed to function, the lifeline they so readily drained. Your energy kept them functioning, kept their emotions steady, kept their insecurities from swallowing them whole, preventing them from succumbing to their own darkness. They mocked you while draining the last bits of your power, taking pleasure in belittling your worth. But when you unplugged yourself, when you severed the connection that sustained them, the screen blacked out, plunging them into darkness. No more fake brightness, no more forced stability, just a dead system staring back at them, reflecting the emptiness of their own existence. And the most brutal example of all, imagine a plant that keeps growing only because someone waters it every day, providing it with the sustenance it needs to thrive. The plant never thanks the one who waters it, never expresses gratitude for the care it receives. It just takes and takes, growing larger and more vibrant with each passing day, until one day, the watering stops, the source of its life is cut off. Suddenly, the leaves begin to dry, the color fades, and the roots panic, desperately searching for moisture. Not because the sun changed, not because the soil changed, but because the source of its sustenance was cut off, leaving it vulnerable and exposed. That's them, struggling to survive without the energy they so readily took for granted. You were the water, the source of their life. They were only surviving because of your effort, because of your unwavering commitment to their well-being. They weren't partners, equals in a relationship. They were parasites dressed as partners, feeding off your energy to sustain their own fragile existence. They took your peace and gave you confusion, they took your time and gave you stress, they took your emotional stability and gave you chaos, draining you of your life force while simultaneously acting as if you weren't enough, as if you were somehow lacking. But parasites only thrive when the host forgets its power, when the victim is unaware of their own strength. And chosen one, the moment you remembered who you were, the moment you realized your worth, the parasite lost access to the one thing it can't live without, your energy. They didn't love you, not in the true sense of the word. They needed you desperately, pathologically. And there's a vast difference between the two. Love grows with care, nurtured by mutual respect and affection. Need grows with desperation, fueled by fear and insecurity. And now, their desperation is eating them alive, consuming them with regret and despair. Let's address something your mind might still whisper, a lingering doubt that refuses to be silenced. Why are they struggling so badly now? Why can't they function without me, after claiming they didn't need me? Why does my absence still haunt them, even though they pretended to have moved on? Because every single thing they pretended to be, every facade they erected to impress the world, came from the energy you provided. You kept them grounded, preventing them from floating away into a world of delusion and self-deception. You kept them calm, soothing their anxieties and fears. You kept them balanced, preventing them from veering off course. You were the emotional shield they never acknowledged, the silent guardian who protected them from the storms of life. Without you, the insecurity they buried deep inside themselves breaks out, flooding their world with doubt and uncertainty. The loneliness they ran from catches them, trapping them in a prison of their own making. The truth they avoided stares them in the face, forcing them to confront the reality of their actions. They're not in heartbreak. They're in withdrawal, a state of agonizing dependency. Real withdrawal, the kind that makes the body panic and the mind spiral, the kind that hits when someone loses their source of emotional regulation, the person who provided them with stability and support. They weren't addicted to your face, to your physical presence. They were addicted to what being around you made them feel. Safe, important, validated, whole. They were addicted to the reflection of themselves they saw in your eyes, a reflection that magnified their strengths and minimized their weaknesses. But they never admitted that, because parasites never thank the host. They expect the host to serve, to provide them with everything they need without question or complaint. Here's another analogy, a vivid illustration of their parasitic behavior. Imagine someone with a broken boat, riddled with cracks and leaks, bragging that the water won't sink them, pretending to be impervious to the dangers that surround them. They laugh at the flaws, they ignore the leaks, they brag about their freedom and independence, convinced they can navigate the storm on their own. But the moment the person who was quietly patching the holes steps off the boat, the person who was diligently working to keep them afloat, the whole thing goes under, sinking beneath the weight of its own deficiencies. That person patching the holes was you, the silent guardian who was working tirelessly to keep their life from falling apart. They thought they were floating on their own, propelled by their own strength and skill. Turns out they were floating on your efforts, sustained by your unwavering commitment to their well-being. Chosen one, your energy was their stability, the foundation upon which they built their lives. When they lost it, when you severed the connection that sustained them, their whole inner world turned into chaos, a maelstrom of emotions they couldn't control. They now wake up heavy, burdened by the weight of their own regret. Their thoughts race, spiraling out of control. Their sleep is broken, haunted by nightmares and anxieties. Their emotions swing wildly, veering from euphoria to despair in a matter of moments. That isn't coincidence, a random occurrence with no discernible cause. That's the effect you had on them, the profound impact of your presence in their lives. Without your light, their world is cold and colorless, devoid of joy and inspiration. Without your presence, their life feels like a glitchy, broken system they can't reboot, a malfunctioning machine that refuses to operate properly. And here's the ultimate irony, the karmic twist that underscores the tragedy of their situation. They spent so much time trying to look powerful in front of you, trying to project an image of strength and self-sufficiency, but now they realize the only time they were ever truly strong, the only time they felt capable and confident, was when they were feeding on your strength, drawing energy from your unwavering spirit. They didn't outgrow you. They outgrew access to the energy they stole, the sustenance they needed to survive. Their mask is slipping, revealing the insecurity and fragility they desperately tried to conceal. Their confidence is shaking, threatening to crumble beneath the weight of their own self-doubt. Their new connections feel empty, lacking the depth and meaning they once found with you. Their distractions don't hit, failing to provide the solace they seek. Their ego is cracking, exposing the vulnerability they so desperately tried to hide. They are starving for energy they will never taste again, a potent and sustaining force that has been irrevocably withdrawn. Because you didn't just walk away, you closed the gate, preventing them from ever returning to the source of their addiction. You locked the door, ensuring they could never again access the sanctuary they took for granted. You unplugged the cord they depended on, severing the connection that sustained them. And the universe made sure they felt every second of that loss, amplifying their regret and despair. Let's address the question that lingers in the minds of some chosen ones, a question fueled by a desire to understand the motivations of those who betrayed them. Did they ever care? Was any of it real? If everything was a lie, why did they act attached sometimes, displaying moments of genuine affection? Because parasites cling hardest when they feel the host waking up, when they sense the danger of being abandoned. When they sensed you gaining clarity, when they saw you beginning to realize your worth, they held you tighter not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of losing the system keeping them alive, fear of losing the person covering their flaws, fear of losing the energy that made their empty life feel full. You were the generator powering their broken world, providing them with the energy they needed to survive. And once the generator shut off, when you severed the connection that sustained them, the lights went out, the heat disappeared, and they had to face the cold truth they avoided for so long. They have nothing without you, nothing real, nothing deep, nothing that makes them feel whole. Now, their days feel long, stretching out before them like an endless wasteland. Their emotions feel heavy, a burden they can no longer bear. Their confidence feels fake, a fragile mask that threatens to shatter at any moment. Their connections feel dull, lacking the spark that once ignited their soul. Their chest feels hollow, empty and aching. That's withdrawal, the agony of being cut off from the source of their sustenance. That's starvation, the desperate craving for the energy they can no longer access. That's what happens when someone loses the host they fed on for far too long, when the parasite is severed from its life source. And chosen one, here's the part the universe wants you to see, the truth that will liberate you from any lingering doubts or regrets. The parasite never had power, never possessed the ability to truly control your destiny. You did all along. The host always had the power to detach, to sever the connection that was draining their energy. The host always had the power to end the cycle of abuse, to reclaim their life and their worth. You finally remembered that, you finally realized your own strength, you finally recognized the destructive nature of your relationship. You finally realized that giving your energy to someone who only takes, who drains you of your life force without offering anything in return, is a slow death, a gradual erosion of your soul. And you refused to die for them, you refused to sacrifice your well-being for someone who didn't appreciate your worth. Your absence exposed the truth they hid behind ego, the carefully constructed facade they used to deceive the world. It showed how weak they really are without you, how dependent they were on your strength and support. It showed how lost they are when you're not there to guide them, to provide them with direction and purpose. It showed how empty their spirit is when you're not there to fill the space, to provide them with meaning and fulfillment. Your silence did more damage than any argument ever could, inflicting a wound that will never fully heal. And the beauty of it is this. Now that you've cut the cord, now that you've severed the connection that was holding you back, your energy is flowing back into your own life, nourishing your soul and empowering you to reach new heights. Your confidence rises, soaring to levels you never thought possible. Your clarity returns, sharpening your focus and guiding you toward your true purpose. Your peace grows, filling your heart with tranquility and contentment. Your blessings move again, flowing freely into your life, bringing abundance and joy, because parasites don't just steal energy. They block it, preventing the flow of abundance from reaching you. Removing them unlocked everything the universe was saving for you. The blessings that were waiting patiently for you to free yourself from their toxic influence. They're in withdrawal, suffering the consequences of their actions. You're in rebirth, emerging from the ashes stronger and more resilient than ever before. They're starving, deprived of the energy they so readily stole. You're growing, blossoming into the best version of yourself. They're collapsing, crumbling under the weight of their own emptiness. You're rising, soaring toward your destiny. They lost the host, the source of their sustenance. You lost a parasite, a burden that was holding you back from achieving your full potential. And chosen one, that's the universe protecting you, guiding you toward your true path. Your absence cursed them, inflicting a wound that will never fully heal. Your detachment freed you, liberating you from a toxic relationship and empowering you to embrace your own worth. Now, they choke on the very energy they once mocked, suffocated by the weight of their regret. And you finally breathe clean air again, liberated from the burden of their negativity. Number 3. They chased better, seduced by the illusion of greener grass. But instead of finding a paradise, they fell face first into nothing, discovering the emptiness that lies beneath the surface of superficiality. Walking away from you wasn't freedom for them. It was the moment their whole life downgraded, a descent into mediocrity and despair. Chosen one, they thought they were running toward greener grass, a more fulfilling and rewarding existence. But the truth hit them like a brick, shattering their illusions and revealing the stark reality of their situation. The better options they chased were nothing but digital filters and cheap sparkle, fleeting illusions that quickly faded under scrutiny. They left your garden, the one place where everything grew abundantly because of your energy, the fertile ground where their dreams could have taken root and flourished. And in their foolishness, they sprinted straight into a dead field that can't grow a single thing, a barren wasteland devoid of life and potential. That's not karma being petty, seeking revenge for a personal slight. That's karma being punctual, delivering the inevitable consequences of their actions with unwavering precision. Let's be real, chosen one. You weren't the problem, the source of their unhappiness. You were the prize, the treasure they so carelessly discarded. They didn't walk away because you lacked something, because you were somehow deficient. They walked away because they couldn't handle someone with your depth, your loyalty, your unwavering presence. They were intimidated by your strength, overwhelmed by your authenticity, and unable to match your commitment. People who don't know their own worth, who lack a sense of self-awareness, always run after shiny illusions, seduced by the promise of instant gratification. And here's the punchline, the karmic twist that underscores their folly. Illusions are loud in the beginning, captivating with their brilliance and allure, but they are silent in the end, fading away without a trace, leaving behind only emptiness and regret. Silence is what they're drowning in now, the deafening void that has replaced the vibrant energy they once shared with you. Imagine someone dropping a diamond, a precious and valuable gem, because they saw glitter on the ground, seduced by its fleeting sparkle. Glitter looks exciting, dazzling with its superficial brilliance, until the rain hits it, until the elements expose its true nature. Then it melts into nothing, leaving behind only a muddy residue. That's exactly what happened to them, a descent from genuine. To them, you were the diamond, assessed for weight, scrutinized for clarity, and ultimately recognized for its immense value. The universe intervened, preventing their return, shielding you from those who prioritize fleeting, superficial thrills over the enduring significance of genuine substance. Consider this. Imagine someone abandoning a sturdy, reliable home, captivated by the shimmering illusion of a hologram mansion. Initially, the grandeur and beauty are overwhelming, a spectacle to behold. But the moment they reach out to open the door, the illusion shatters, revealing its emptiness. That crushing realization, that stark disappointment, that is the essence of their current existence. Regret isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a constant companion, a specter haunting their waking hours and infiltrating their dreams. If you find yourself questioning the sudden unraveling of their world, the swift and merciless backfiring of their choices, understand this fundamental truth. When someone abandons a blessing, the universe doesn't diminish the blessing's inherent worth. Instead, it elevates that blessing to new heights, leaving the abandoner behind. You are ascending, evolving, reaching new plateaus of fulfillment and self-discovery. They, on the other hand, are sinking, spiraling into a morass of their own making. They stand amidst the barren landscape of their choices, gazing longingly at a life that feels devoid of meaning, haunted by the memory of the vibrant garden they themselves destroyed. Their descent isn't a random occurrence. It's a validation, a cosmic confirmation that they fundamentally misjudged your worth, mistaking your rare and precious qualities for commonplace routine. It's confirmation that your absence has cursed their path while simultaneously blessing yours, chosen one. There is no torment more profound than the realization that the seemingly greener pasture they chased was, in reality, the precipice of their downfall. They craved a more vibrant existence, only to find themselves mired in a desolate wasteland where nothing will ever flourish again. Number 4. You were their shield, their protector, and they shattered it themselves, blinded by arrogance and short-sightedness. Karma didn't have to actively pursue them. It simply strolled in, uninvited, the instant you stepped out of their life. They flaunted their choices with the overconfidence of someone utterly oblivious to the extent to which their entire world was being safeguarded by the very person they disrespected. Your presence wasn't merely a source of comfort. It was a formidable shield, deflecting blows intended for them. You softened the impact of storms they never even knew were brewing on the horizon. You stood as a buffer between them and the consequences of their own self-inflicted chaos. And the moment you turned away, the universe simply ceased its intervention, allowing the full force of their actions to descend upon them. If you've ever pondered why their world crumbled so spectacularly after your departure, here's your answer. You weren't simply in their life, you were actively protecting their life. You were the shock absorber, the protective wall, the unwavering barrier that shielded them from the repercussions of their choices. They mistook their good fortune for inherent invincibility, believing themselves untouchable. But the truth was, they were enveloped by your unwavering energy. And when they confused your loyalty for weakness, pushing you away in their misguided hubris, karma didn't magically intensify. They simply lost the one force strong enough to hold it at bay. Imagine this. Someone sheltered beneath your umbrella in the midst of a downpour, yet incessantly complaining about the weather. They offer no gratitude, no acknowledgement of your protection. Then one day you close the umbrella and walk away. Suddenly, they're drenched, shivering, exposed. The storm was always there. They were just too arrogant to recognize the source of their protection. Or picture someone boasting about their charmed life, oblivious to the fact that you are quietly cleaning up their messes, preventing the universe from fully witnessing their transgressions. They attributed their clean slate to divine favor, when in reality, it was the result of your tireless efforts. And the moment you stopped sweeping, the accumulated mess engulfed them entirely. The facts speak for themselves. Individuals who rely heavily on another person for emotional and energetic support experience the most devastating collapse when that support is withdrawn. Sleepless nights, financial setbacks, rash decisions, the unveiling of false friends, betrayals emerging from every corner. These are not random occurrences. They are the direct result of cause and effect. This is karma settling a debt they naively believed they would never have to repay. You didn't curse them. You simply ceased standing in front of the bullets they were firing at themselves. Chosen one, their downfall is not an act of vengeance. It's the unvarnished reality of their choices. And the harsh truth is this. They were never prepared to face the world without you. Now, they have no alternative. Number 5. The universe extracted you from their life because they stubbornly refused to grow, to evolve, to learn. You weren't merely a loss. You were their last lifeline, the final opportunity for redemption, and they spat upon the hand that reached out to save them. Chosen one, you were never a random encounter, a fleeting presence in their journey. You were a pivotal turning point, the catalyst they were meant to rise from. You were the wake-up call they desperately needed but lacked the maturity to answer. The universe placed you in their life as a final examination, a last warning, a decisive chance to elevate themselves. Instead of gleaning wisdom from your presence, they ridiculed it. Instead of embracing growth alongside you, they resisted. Instead of listening with an open heart, they scoffed and dismissed your insights. Therefore, the universe did what it always does when someone squanders their last chance. It removed you from the equation. If you've ever wondered why you felt like the sole participant in their salvation, the only one extending a helping hand, it's because you were the help. You were the rope thrown to a drowning soul. They were submerged in their own destructive habits, their inflated egos, their self-perpetuating patterns of brokenness, and the universe offered them one final lifeline. You. But they regarded the rope with disdain, smirking in self-assuredness, convinced they could navigate the treacherous waters on their own. Now, the truth is finally catching up to them. They aren't swimming. They're sinking, pulled down by the weight of their choices. Imagine someone trapped inside a burning house. A firefighter breaches the door, extends a hand, and pleads, "Come on, this is your chance to escape." But instead of grasping the offered hand, they laugh mockingly, boasting about their tolerance for the heat, deluding themselves into believing they are unharmed. The firefighter, recognizing the futility of their efforts, withdraws, knowing there is nothing more they can do. That firefighter was you, and the suffocating smoke filling their life is the result of their own obstinacy. Or picture someone staring into a mirror that finally reflects their true image. Your presence illuminated their authentic self. Selfish, insecure, and neglectful of their personal growth. You were the mirror they desperately needed, but instead of confronting their flaws and striving for improvement, they shattered it in defiance. And when the mirror vanishes, the only compass guiding them is the darkness they themselves created. Here's a truth they will never openly acknowledge. People don't fear the act of losing someone. They fear losing someone who forces them to confront their own inadequacies, who compels them to see themselves with unflinching clarity. Your very existence demanded their evolution. Your energy propelled them toward becoming better versions of themselves. But some individuals cling to their outdated identities as if they were life preservers, even when those very identities are dragging them further beneath the surface. Now, the universe has stepped back, ceasing its interventions. There are no more gentle warnings, no more subtle lessons, no more offers of mercy. Because once a chosen one is removed, the message becomes brutally direct. Asterisk, you failed to grow when growth was offered. Asterisk, and chosen one, the universe didn't remove you to punish them. It removed you to protect you. You were not meant to carry someone who refuses to walk. You were not meant to guide someone who refuses to see. You were not meant to teach someone who refuses to learn. They had their chance. They squandered it. Now their teacher is pain. Their lessons are consequences. Their classroom is regret. The universe didn't abandon them. They abandoned their own opportunity for salvation. And losing you, that was the final warning they will never forget. Number 6. They tried to diminish your light, and in doing so, ignited a fire they cannot escape. They foolishly believed that dimming your radiance would somehow make them shine brighter. Instead, it only served to expose the profound darkness that permeates their own world. Chosen one, the individuals who attempted to make you feel insignificant are now suffocating beneath the brilliance they failed to extinguish. They chipped away at your confidence, rolled their eyes at your dreams, whispered your name as if it were a punchline, desperately hoping you would begin to doubt yourself. But insecure individuals invariably target the brightest light in the room, because it starkly reveals the meager glow they possess on their own. Let's address the question that lingers in your mind. Why did they expend so much energy trying to break you? Because your unyielding fire reminded them of their own lack of ambition. Your soaring dreams reminded them of their stagnation. Your vibrant personality reminded them of the dullness they felt within. You weren't the threat. They were threatened. Imagine this. Someone attempting to extinguish a candle, failing to realize that the candle is connected to a vast network of flames. The harder they blow, the more oxygen they supply, inadvertently fueling the fire. That was you. Every insult they hurled was oxygen. Every doubt they attempted to plant was fuel. Every attempt to diminish you only strengthened your resolve, intensified your inner fire. Or picture someone drawing the curtains to block out the sun, finding its brightness unbearable. The sun doesn't diminish. The room simply becomes darker. The curtains represent their insecurity. The sun embodies your radiant energy. They hid from you because they were incapable of handling your brilliance. And here's another analogy. Envision a spark trapped inside a box. They attempted to confine you, restrict you, make you question your abilities. But sparks contained within boxes don't simply die. They build pressure, accumulating energy until one day, they shatter the box entirely. That explosion, that uncontainable release of power, that is your ascendance. Here's the truth they will never publicly admit. Individuals who attempt to belittle others are invariably terrified of the potential those individuals possess. They didn't want you to recognize your own power because the moment you did, you would no longer need them. And that is precisely what transpired. You awakened to your potential. You evolved. You broke free from their constraints. Now, your fire is something they can't touch, can't replicate, can't compete with. You are no longer a flickering flame. You are a wildfire, consuming everything that once held you back. Your glow is so intense now that their existence appears dim and insignificant in comparison. And the most agonizing part for them is that they are forced to witness it all from the shadows, from a distance, from the very prison they constructed for themselves. Chosen one, they attempted to extinguish your fire. Instead, they ignited a blaze that will haunt them every time they witness your rise. Number 7. The moment you departed, their entire world lost its color, its vibrancy, its very essence of life. They didn't simply lose a person. They lost the only thing that ever made their existence feel genuinely alive. Chosen one, the day you walked out of their life was the day the universe transformed their world into a stark and desolate landscape of black and white. Your presence was the vibrant color palette that infused everything with excitement, meaning, and depth. You were the warmth in their mornings, the spark in their mundane routines, the pulse in their otherwise empty chest. They may never have voiced it aloud, but you were the saturation in their dull and lifeless existence. And when you left, the color drained away instantaneously. If you've ever questioned, do they actually miss me? Do they even register my absence? The answer is etched into every facet of their life right now. They feel your absence in every forced smile they attempt to conjure. They feel your absence every time they seek excitement, only to encounter a flat, gray void. You weren't merely someone. You were their life force, and losing you unplugged the entire world around them. Imagine this. A painting that once radiated vibrant hues suddenly transforms into a grayscale image. Gone is the depth, the emotion, the captivating spark. That is their current reality. You were the red in their roses, the blue in their skies, the gold in their victories. Without you, everything feels muted, dull, and agonizingly repetitive. Picture someone attending a carnival, surrounded by dazzling lights and pulsating music, yet feeling absolutely nothing. That is their experience at every gathering. They go through the motions, but their soul is absent, detached, numb. Not because the world itself has changed, but because you have. Here's a fundamental truth. Human beings attach emotions to people, not places. When the person who imbues their world with meaning disappears, the entire world loses its meaning along with them. That is why everything feels faded, washed out, and devoid of vitality. They didn't merely lose a lover or a friend. They lost the emotional oxygen that allowed their world to breathe. They pursue physical connections, but there is no warmth. They crave attention, but there is no thrill. They seek pleasure, but there is no lasting satisfaction. Everything feels cheap and superficial because you were the only element in their life that ever felt genuine, authentic, and real. And the irony is profoundly cutting. They once claimed you were too much, but now they realize you were the only thing that made their world anything at all. Chosen one, their world is rendered in black and white because the color was always you. Number 8. Your departure ripped away their carefully constructed mask, exposing their true self to the unforgiving light of reality. They didn't fundamentally change after you left. They simply ran out of places to conceal their true nature. Chosen one, your absence accomplished what your presence never needed to do. It exposed them. The mask they wore so confidently, the charm they wielded so skillfully, the fabricated personality they deployed to impress others. All of it crumbled the instant you stepped out of their life. You were the illuminating light that made them appear human, relatable, and genuine. Without that light, everyone can finally perceive the shadows that constitute their core. And if you find yourself questioning, was I truly the one holding their entire image together? The answer is a resounding yes. You were the stability beneath their shaky facade, the warmth that concealed their inherent coldness, the vibrant energy that made them appear more alive than they genuinely were. You didn't simply walk away from a person. You unplugged their entire elaborate illusion. Imagine someone adorned in a costume within a darkened room. No one notices the cheap fabric, the visible cracks, the unsightly stains. They appear convincing, perhaps even impressive. But the moment the lights are switched on, every flaw is exposed, every carefully crafted lie is revealed. Every deep-seated insecurity screams out for attention. You were that illuminating light. And when your light vanished, the darkness revealed everything they had desperately attempted to hide. Or picture this. A vampire moving with confidence under the cloak of night, charming everyone they encounter, feigning a vibrant life until the sun begins to rise. Then, the harsh truth burns through their skin, revealing their true, parasitic nature. That is their current state. Vampires caught in the harsh light of day, burning under the relentless honesty your absence has forced upon them. Their confidence was borrowed. Their kindness was copied. Their strength was a facade. Your departure stripped away the illusion. And here's the fact they despise the most. People notice. Friends they once easily fooled now see the emptiness lurking behind their carefully practiced smiles. Strangers can sense the desperation emanating from their energy. The people they relentlessly tried to impress now see right through them, recognizing the hollowness beneath the surface. Their aura, once masked by your radiant presence, now broadcasts a single, desperate message. I lost the person who made me appear better than I am. Let's address a question that might be circulating in your mind. Why didn't people perceive their true self before? Because your energy enveloped their flaws, your kindness softened their sharp edges, your unwavering loyalty made them appear stable and trustworthy. Your very presence lent them a credibility they never truly earned. You made them appear like someone worthy of trust, respect, and admiration. Without you, they are merely a hollow shell, desperately attempting to project an image of wholeness. And the brutal truth is, they lost everything when they lost you. Not simply because you were their partner, but because you were their power source, the generator that fueled their carefully constructed facade. Their mask remained intact only because you diligently maintained the balance of their world. Once you left, the imbalance tore everything open, exposing the cracks and imperfections they had so meticulously concealed. Now people whisper, people question, people step back, wary of their unraveling facade. Their stories no longer align, their carefully crafted charm falls flat, their confidence falters mid-sentence. They are exposed, vulnerable, and the world sees them for exactly who they are. Chosen one, you lost nothing by walking away. You shed a parasite, freeing yourself from its draining influence. They lost the foundation of their entire fabricated image. Your absence didn't just strip away their mask. It destroyed the very stage they performed upon. Now everyone sees them exactly as they are, and that truth burns them every single day. Number 9. They weren't simply dead weight. They were actively blocking your blessings, hindering your progress, and stifling your potential. They didn't simply hurt you. They slowed your entire destiny until you finally summoned the strength to release them from your life. Chosen one, the harsh truth is this. The greatest curse in your life wasn't their betrayal or their mistreatment. It was their very presence. Their toxic energy acted as a clog in your spiritual pipeline, obstructing the flow of abundance and opportunity. Their chaos tangled your hard-won peace. Their insecurity dimmed your confidence and undermined your self-belief. Their constant drama suffocated your growth and stifled your spirit. You weren't stuck because you were inherently flawed or destined for failure. You were stuck because they were attached to you like a debilitating weight, a burden you didn't even realize you were carrying. If you've ever asked yourself, why did my life feel so overwhelmingly heavy with them? Why did everything feel so stagnant and unyielding? The answer is profoundly simple. Their toxic energy was poison to your progress, contaminating everything you touched. The universe intentionally kept your blessings on hold, not as a form of punishment, but as a protective measure, shielding you from further harm. Because what would be the point of bestowing upon you opportunity, abundance, clarity, success, and inner peace if someone toxic was poised to destroy it all the moment it arrived? That is precisely why, the moment they were removed from your life, everything began to move again, gaining momentum with astonishing speed. Doors that had been stubbornly locked for years swung open with ease. Peace returned like a long-lost friend, enveloping you in its soothing embrace. Your mind became clearer, sharper, more focused. Your heart felt lighter, unburdened, and full of renewed hope. Your confidence soared, emboldening you to pursue your dreams with unwavering determination. Your path straightened, leading you forward with clarity and purpose. Blessings multiplied, showering you with abundance because the blockage had finally been removed, allowing the universe to shower you with its gifts. It wasn't you. You were not fundamentally broken, unlucky, or lagging behind. You were simply buried beneath the weight of their chaos, suffocated by their negativity. Your garden wasn't dead. It was merely suffocating under the relentless encroachment of weeds that did not belong there. And now the weeds are gone, uprooted and discarded. Now your flowers are thriving, blossoming in vibrant colors. Now your blessings are flowing freely, unhindered, in the way they were always intended to. Chosen one, you lost nothing of value when you lost them. You gained access to everything the universe has always yearned to give you, all the abundance and joy that awaits you on your true path. They were blocking your blessings, acting as a dam against the flow of abundance. Their exit was your breakthrough, the catalyst that unleashed your true potential. Your life didn't improve by mere accident. It improved because you finally removed the curse masquerading as a person, freeing yourself from its toxic grip. Number 10. Your presence was a rare and precious gift, and your absence is a curse they cannot outrun, a shadow that will forever haunt their days. They didn't simply lose a person. They lost the only light that possessed the power to penetrate their darkness, the only force that could ignite their world with genuine life. Chosen one, look at them now. Nights that stretch on like endless years, filled with restlessness and unease. Days that drag across their chest like an unbearable weight, devoid of joy or purpose. Hearts that feel like empty rooms with broken windows, exposed to the harsh elements and filled with a chilling emptiness. Nothing warms them, nothing excites them, nothing even remotely replaces you. Every person they encounter feels shallow and unfulfilling. Every fleeting distraction fades too quickly, leaving them feeling more empty than before. Every desperate attempt to move on collapses before it even gains momentum, leaving them mired in a cycle of disappointment and despair, because they have finally learned the truth the universe tried to impart upon them long ago. Your presence was a gift they never deserved, a treasure they carelessly squandered, and your absence is the curse they brought upon themselves through their own actions, a consequence they can no longer escape. Imagine this. Someone smashing the only lantern in a dark tunnel, foolishly believing that another one would magically appear to illuminate their path. They mocked the light while they possessed it, taking it for granted and failing to appreciate its true value. Then, darkness swallowed the path whole, and suddenly they understood, with agonizing clarity, how rare and essential that lantern truly was. That lantern was you, and the suffocating darkness they now inhabit is your silence, your distance, your triumphant evolution, a constant reminder of what they recklessly destroyed. Another analogy. Picture a home with a single window that allows sunlight to stream through, filling the rooms with warmth and light. They shattered that window in a moment of anger or spite, attempting to prove some misguided point. Now, every room is cold, dim, and lifeless, devoid of the warmth and vitality it once possessed. No amount of curtains can repair the damage. No number of candles can adequately replace the lost sunlight. You were that sunlight. Losing you didn't simply remove a source of warmth. It froze their entire emotional world, leaving them trapped in a perpetual winter. If you're wondering, do they truly feel the weight of this loss? Do they genuinely regret their actions? The answer reverberates louder than their carefully constructed ego. Yes, they feel it deeply and profoundly. They choke on it, unable to escape the crushing weight of their regret. Their soul knows what their pride stubbornly refuses to admit. They had a rare and precious presence in their life, a gift beyond measure, and the universe will never offer them another version of you. Your victories now inflict more pain than any argument ever could. Every radiant smile you wear serves as a stark testament to their misjudgment. Every blessing that graces your path echoes their mistake, serving as a constant reminder of what they could have nurtured, grown beside, and cherished, but ultimately ruined through their own short-sightedness. Every triumph you achieve is a resounding confirmation of what they could have shared, but instead deliberately sabotaged. The universe is not actively punishing them. It is teaching them, slowly, deeply, and permanently. Chosen one, your presence had the power to heal them, to mend their brokenness, to guide them toward wholeness. Your absence exposes them, revealing the emptiness, the insecurity, and the darkness that lie at their core. You were the gift they carelessly wasted, the treasure they foolishly discarded. Now, your triumphant evolution is the curse that will forever shadow them, a constant reminder of their irreversible mistake. And chosen one, now you see the truth for what it is. Your presence was a gift they mishandled, a precious offering they failed to appreciate, and your absence became the curse that shapes their regret, defining their existence with a profound and lasting sense of loss. You lost nothing of value by walking away. You gained clarity, power, and your rightful path, a future brimming with possibility. If this message resonated with your spirit, please click the like button if you haven't already done so. And if you're not yet a part of this community, be sure to subscribe. Your support fuels this mission, and your evolution is only just beginning.